Very much, Mr. Chairman. And first of all, I want to associate myself with the opening remarks of both the chairman and the ranking member. And according to NBC, since it's been brought up by the previous questioner, according to NBC, Ms. Bresch made $18,931,068 in 2015. I suppose when you get to salaries, the level that we're talking about, it's easy to forget an extra 931,000. But the greed is astounding. It's sickening. It's disgusting. Almost any words that you can think of, and not only by Ms. Bresch, but the other executives. And I am a very conservative, pro-business Republican, but I am really sickened by what I've heard here today and what I've read before about this situation. I can tell you that, in my opinion, nobody can really earn or deserve $19 million a year. And lest anyone be under a misunderstanding that the free market or capitalism hasn't worked here, you don't have a free market. That's the problem. A true free market, you have ease of entry. You certainly don't have that in the drug industry. And also you have plenty of competition in a true free market, and you don't have that here. And it's primarily the fault of the FDA. I've read article after article for many years. We've let the Food and Drug Administration become so big and so bureaucratic that it's become almost impossible for a small company to get a drug or a medical device to market. And the cost of getting a drug or a medical device to market on average has become, in many cases, most cases, over $1 billion to get a drug to market. And because of that, the drug industry has ended up in the hands of a few big giants. And then I've read article after article that all these giant drug companies and pharmaceutical companies have hired many or most of the former FDA commissioners and top-level employees, just like the Defense Department. Defense contractors have hired so many retired admirals and generals. And what they've done in the drug industry, they've come in and they've manipulated the market. Now, Ms. Bresch justifies all this, saying that they only get $274 from the EpiPens. But these pens were selling by this other company, this German company, for $100 in 2007. We've only had, I think, around 30% inflation in those years, and yet they have almost tripled the price that this German company was paying. Then Congress, with good intentions, made the situation worse by giving incentives for these schools in grants to get these pens. And then I understand that the New York State Attorney General is getting ready to investigate Mylan because they have they've given these first pens out for free as marketing devices, but then required them to buy the next times they had to buy pens. But what does concern me, one thing that really concerns me, according to a September 1st story on NPR, the FDA as of July had 4,038 generic drug applications awaiting approval, and the median time it takes for the FDA to approve a generic is now 47 months. That doesn't sound like a very expedited procedure to me, Dr. Throckmorton. And then it says in March, generics giant Teva Pharmaceuticals, another giant, told investors that its generic version of EpiPen was rejected by the FDA and that it now wouldn't be able to launch the generic at least until next year. Another pharmaceutical company, Adamas, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, reported a similar rejection from the FDA in June. So that's two giant companies that have been turned down. Dr. Throckmorton, the FDA needs to speed up its actions, and it needs to allow more competition, and it's not doing that now. And in the opinion of, I think, almost everybody here. And then it's all being done on the backs of sick children, and it's shameful. Mr. Chairman, thank you.